Hi guys, I'm just going to go over how to do this rather cool looking custom halftone illustration. So let's get cracking and see how we go. So I have here my chosen image. Now I've selected a black and white image with a good amount of contrast, but this thing is sort of up to you. You can try coloured images, but black and white will work really well. So first of all, I'm going to convert that to a smart object, as I normally do when working with filters. And I'm going to put some patterns over the top. I'm going to put a line pattern over the top, like so. And I'm going to use my line pattern like that. Now you can find those line patterns in your legacy folder. They'll be under web patterns. Right down here you'll have lines and all sorts of things in there. Okie dokie, so I've got my pattern there and I can change the scale of that up or down, whatever I need, and I'm going to say okay. Right, what I'm going to do is just delete that mask, and I am in fact going to just flatten or rasterize that layer. Okay, flattened and rasterized. And finally we're going to convert that into a smart object as well. Beautiful. Alright, so how this will go is I'm going to apply a blending mode to this. Before I do that, I might just duplicate that and I'll come back to that one there. So I'm going to apply a blending mode. I'm going to use this hard mix blending mode, which is rather cool because where there is the shadows in the image, this line will appear to be thicker than where it's light. The line will tend to thin out, which is sort of on the way. Now we can try to emphasize this or increase that idea by applying a blur to my pattern. So I'm going to put a filter and a Gaussian blur. And there we go, and that starts to give me something more that I'm after. And you can play with the amount of blur till it sort of looks good to you. I'm going to go somewhere there and say okay to that. Now this is looking fine, but it's a little bit sharp and pixely and sort of, you know, not the best. So I'm hoping to be able to smooth that out, and I can do that by applying a blur to this secondary bottom layer. So I'm going to do that now. Blur, Gaussian, and beautiful. Once we get that going, we're starting to really get something that's feeling very, very graphic, and that's kind of good. So I might just put an adjustment layer over the top of my black and white image here, potentially a levels adjustment. And what that can do for us is that we can then take that adjustment layer and sort of dial this in a little bit using this effect, so I can push this around up or down the sliders to increase or decrease the amount of that effect. So putting a little adjustment layer over the top can be cool, and that essentially is the how to do this exercise. So I put the effect over there. Now what I thought I might do is just show you on this pattern fill that I duplicated earlier. I'm going to apply a filter, or I'm going to apply a blur to that again, and I'm going to apply a filter to this one, and I'm going to apply this thing called distortion effect. I'm going to polar coordinates, and we'll get this sort of idea, which is kind of cool. It takes that and gives us this idea. And what I'm going to say here is just scale that up a little bit, just so I get that idea. That's kind of good. And applying my hard mix to this idea, we're getting another rather interesting effect using the custom halftones. So this is really a really good way to just really achieve interesting and cool effects using your custom halftone, and just playing with that and just being able to create something really kind of graphic. Okay, that's really all we're going to do here. So I hope that helps. Custom halftones, really good fun experimenting with various blending modes. Okay guys, I'll see you all in the lesson.